Let's assume that we've sketched out in advance what our work breakdown structure is going to look like, and we're ready to enter this information into the software. We begin with the first level, which is the project itself, which in this case is a mobile reporting system. And one of the first deliverables is performance requirements. And in order to obtain performance requirements, we have to interview users, define the performance based on those interviews, and then the next major deliverable is software. In this view, we see the completed list. And in addition to performance requirements and software, another deliverable is hardware and then the prototype itself. So we want to organize this into a work breakdown structure. Well, the first thing we do is highlight all the activities below the first level, mobile reporting system, and then go up and use these indent buttons, very much like the outline function in Microsoft Word, to indicate that all these activities are beneath mobile reporting system. Then we go to the first deliverable and indent those, indicating that those two activities are necessary to deliver the performance requirements, software, and then the hardware, and then finally the prototype. And now we have a three-level work breakdown structure for our mobile reporting system project. To establish an ID code for our work breakdown structure, we simply go to Tools, click, scroll down to Options, and choose Show Outline Number. Click OK. And now we have a unique code number for each level and item in the work breakdown structure. In this lesson, we will demonstrate how to insert estimated durations of specific tasks. These estimates are based on prior experience and talking to experts who will be performing the task. Let's assume we've done this and we're ready to enter the information. So we go to our Gantt view, where our work breakdown structure exists, and the first thing we have to do is push out the window of the Gantt chart to reveal a set of columns, including the duration column. It's in this column that we enter the information. Let's assume that after talking to people, we estimate it's going to take 5 days to interview the users. Only 1 day to define the requirements, 2 days to design the logic, 2 days for the database. Programming code A is going to take 5 days, but code B is only going to take 3 days. Purchasing the hardware 1 day, assembling the hardware 1 day, and then finally integration 1 day. Now, the computer's offered us a hint on how to do this quicker. You could follow this hint, but since we've already done the what we're trying to do, we're just going to say OK and move on. Now, Microsoft can record estimates in terms of days, but for more precise tasks, it could be 1M for minute, or it could be 1H for hour, or even 1W for week. So you can use alternative time frames. My advice is use the same time frame for all the tasks. Don't mix minutes with days, with weeks, and so forth. Notice also that we're only entering information at the lowest level of the work breakdown structure. We don't enter estimates for the summary tasks. That's the end of this lesson. Let's assume that we've used the yellow post-it notes approach to lay out and map the sequence of activities, and we're ready to enter this information into the software. So we need to scroll the Gantt chart off and reveal a column entitled Predecessor. This is where you put the information indicating which tasks have to be completed immediately before the start of the particular task in question. So, interview users is the first task, so we don't put anything there, but after we've interviewed the users, we can begin defining the performance requirements. And so we put in a 3. Why a 3? Well, Microsoft uses these numbers over in this column to identify rows and tasks. And by putting in 3, we're saying defining performance requirements can occur as soon as interviewing users is over with. We bypass the summary task, and then for design logic, once we've got the performance requirements defined, we can begin that task. In addition to that, we can begin purchasing the hardware. Once the design logic's completed, we put in 6, because then you can begin designing the database. There's the 6 there. And then programming A and B can start once the design database is completed. So we put in 7s here. And then we assemble the hardware after we've ordered it, which is 11. And then we can put things together after, oops, we'll put it in 12, not 11. After we've assembled the hardware and both coding of A and B is completed. And so now we've created the sequence. And if you look over here, you can see that things have moved out. And according to the information that we provided, the software, the project's going to take 19 days. I'm going to demonstrate how to create a Gantt chart for displaying your project schedule. First of all, we have to pull the Gantt chart window over. And now we see the Gantt chart for this project. Blue are the activities, the black bars are the summary tasks. And the nice advantage of a Gantt chart is that you have a timeline. So you can look and see on Wednesday in last week of August what activities are supposed to occur. And usually most people, even with a high school education, should be able to understand what a Gantt chart is telling them. Now, Microsoft provides us with ways of customizing the Gantt chart. And we go to Format, and then the Gantt chart wizard. And click Next. And one of the things we want the Gantt chart to do is tell us what the critical path is. So we click that, say Next. We're not going to ask for dates or resources, so we're going to say None. And yes, we do want the links between tasks identified. Click Next, and now Format. Exit. And now we have a multicolored graph where the red is critical tasks, the blue are the non-critical activities, and a way of displaying the schedule that most people intuitively will understand.